Hey guys, and welcome back to another Dragon City gameplay video. And in this video, I'm going to give some helpful advice on how to be successful in the heroic race. Well, it's specifically for beginners, but even if you're not a beginner, this may have some helpful advice for you if this is like your third, fourth, or fifth heroic race. So if you are a beginner and you've never done the heroic race, it's a good thing that you're watching this video. I do highly recommend that you watch this entire video because I will be giving a lot of helpful advice. So the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is during the heroic race, in order to progress in it, you are going to have to complete certain tasks in order to progress. And one of the tips that I want to give you is during the race, you're going to have to be breeding dragons, you're going to have to be hatching eggs, and if you get to like lap, let's say like 12, 13, or actually probably lap 15 or 16, it's going to have you hatch at least 15 eggs before you can move on to the next task. So in order to speed up the process just a little bit when it comes to that, I would recommend upgrading your hatchery. So you want to be able to hold as many eggs as possible, because if you only have one egg in your hatchery because you haven't unlocked the other ones, it's going to be pretty difficult to progress in the race. So I definitely recommend giving the hatchery some attention, upgrading it so you can house a bunch of different eggs, and that'll help speed up the process just a little bit. Like I said, you're going to have to be breeding and hatching eggs, and as you guys know, if you've played this game for a while, you will notice that certain eggs take a long time. Some eggs could take 15 hours, some could take 43 hours, and so when you're doing the race, you want to complete certain tasks, not very quickly, but in a timely manner. You don't want to have to actually be waiting super long for like a 15-hour egg to hatch, because it's just going to slow you down. Now, one of the things I can give you advice on in order to speed up the process when you're having to do that is you can actually construct a tower, and that tower is, let me find it. I should know where this is right away, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, it's right here. So this tower is going to specifically skip 6 hours of breeding time. And that is super helpful in the heroic race, because if you are completing the task where it says, hey, you have to hatch certain eggs, you can speed up the process by constructing this tower. And it is important to note that it is going to take some time for you guys to construct any kind of tower that you're going to use. And so certain tips that I'm giving you guys, it's really important that you prepare in advance for the heroic race. I actually should have recorded this video a while ago, but because I know the next heroic race is going to be coming up. But usually in preparation, and what I'm suggesting to you guys, is going to take a few weeks, but it's definitely worth it so you can just fly right through the race and get to those higher laps. So this is definitely helpful. It'll skip 6 hours of breeding time. And so yeah, that's something to keep in mind, but it will take a while to construct unless you use gems to like speed up the process. That is another option when constructing these towers. It's just, it may be a little costly. So give yourself plenty of time to do this. You don't have to rush with it. Just take your time, because if you try and rush, it can be super stressful. Believe me, I know. So that is one of the options and one of the tips to help you in the heroic race. Also, something that you're going to come across when you're doing the heroic race, you will be given tasks to plant food. And one of the things that you can do in order to help speed up the process with this is there is a tower that you can construct. And with this particular tower, what it does is it skips 8 hours of food production. So with every task that you're given in the heroic race, it's going to have time for you. You're going to need time to progress. So whenever you have these things, whenever you have the ability to acquire some of these towers, I would say definitely take advantage of it. Definitely start getting to work on the construction, because these will definitely help you in the heroic race. Now, early on when I was doing this game and I was in the heroic race, it was so difficult. But now that I'm at a higher level and now that I've had chances to construct this, actually, I wish I had constructed my towers earlier. So I would definitely recommend doing that now, because it does help you in future events such as the heroic race. So you will have to plant food, and that gets me to another thing that's important with this heroic race. Okay, so food and gold is very important. Not only are you going to have to be planting food, you're also going to have to be feeding your dragons. That's one of the other tasks that you're going to have to do. So this is going to get a little complicated, a little confusing, but it's definitely helpful. If you guys just take a look at the screen and look at how much food I have 42 million food. And the reason why I have that much, I haven't purchased anything, it's because I've been saving up my gold for maybe like a month and a half. And I haven't really spent money on anything else other than that. So I would suggest when a heroic race is going on, or actually after it's ended, you can do it this way too. I would suggest not buying anything, not purchasing anything, just letting your gold accumulate. Because like that's what I've done with my gold right here. So I have 1.38 billion. And the reason why is, like I said, is I've just been collecting and not spending. And once you've done that for, let's say, a few weeks, then you can go and switch your focus onto planting the food. Because like I said, the food is very important. You're going to need to be feeding your dragons. And you'll also need to be collecting gold as one of your tasks. So that gets me into something else. That's another tip. So one of the other things I would definitely say is to buy islands, even though not islands, habitats, sorry about that, is to buy habitats a little bit in advance. So if you have, you're a few dragons away from a certain habitat being full, go ahead and plan ahead, because one of the tasks is you have to collect gold, like I said, and the more islands you have, not islands, darn it, the more habitats you have, the more gold that you'll be able to collect, and that'll speed up the process when the heroic race is asking you to collect gold. Because with me, I think when you start off in the very beginning lap, you have to collect 5 gold or 10 gold, 20 gold. But when you get to the laps that I'm on, like lap 15, lap 16 and higher, they're going to have you collect gold 162 times. So that's why even if you're breeding dragons and you come across the same one over and over again, just don't necessarily sell it, because when it comes time to do the heroic race, the more dragons you have, the more gold you will be collecting. And so that'll help you with that task right there. Also, another thing with the heroic race is you are going to have to battle dragons. And this ties into some of the towers that we had talked about earlier. And so one of the things that you can do to increase your chances of being successful in either the league battles, because it's going to require you to do that unless you use gems to skip. And then it has you fight against individual dragons, so it's not going to be 3 dragons like it is in the league battles. One of the things, I just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so we were talking about battling dragons. Oh, that thought is lost. Okay. Oh, okay, I remember. Okay, so one of the things it is going to require you to do is battle dragons. And if you want some extra strength for your dragons when they're fighting, I would definitely suggest constructing this tower right here. This tower, actually, it says that it increases life and damage of all dragons by 20%. And also, this tower, even if it's not a heroic race, this is really good in league battles, this is good in the arenas, and it's good in other events which you have to battle dragons. So this tower is really cool. It's really I think important. So that's another reason why I would suggest, if you're just starting out or you're level 20, to definitely just spend some time constructing these towers, because in the long run, it'll be extremely helpful and useful for you guys. Okay, so that's some of the tips for the heroic race. Let me just look at my towers real quick and see if I left anything out. So there's a lot of preparation that goes into the heroic race. There's a lot of things that you can do to prepare, and hopefully I've given you guys some advice that will be helpful in the next heroic race, which I'm pretty sure is just right around the corner. So with that said, I think I'm going to leave the video here. I'm pretty sure there's some things that I'm leaving out, but I can't think of them right now. But when I do, I will make a part 2 heroic race advice for beginners, and I will have that uploaded. And with that said, yeah, I'm going to leave the video here, and I wish you guys the best of luck in the next